If there's anything the year 2024 is going to be known for, it's definitely the revival of the Alien franchise. I mean, we just had a successful blockbuster movie in Alien Romulus this year. We had the exciting news that AlienIsolation has a sequel greenlit, and we also have a new television series, Alien Earth, coming next year. So what better way to finish up 2024 than having an Alien VR game in Alien Rogue Incursion on the PSVR2? So, is it any good? Well, I'll put it like this. Nothing says I love you more than having a Xenomorph pounce on you to death. This is Rogue Incursion. What is up? Hopefully you guys are having a happy holidays and enjoying some time with family and friends, and I guess if you have some time, save some for the Xenomorphs, because today we're going to be talking about Alien Rogue Incursion on a PSVR2 and if it's any good, if it's something you should invest time to get at one point. So I'll put it to you right now, this is definitely kind of a little bit of a wet dream for me, because being able to get up and close and personal in a Xenomorph infested area is definitely something, as a diehard Alien fan, I've always wanted to do. And I'll say this game hits a lot of those key notes really, really well. So the main thing with this game is typical of any VR2 game is that you have a lot of interactivity, whether you're using control panels to give power to doors, or you're trying to unweld a door, or you're trying to put your device in a computer to save it or activate something. It's all, mechanically done through the VR and being as immersed as possible. And having those things is all key to be able to progress through the game, but the big component here is that, obviously, you just can't do it in peace. No. When you do any of these things, you gotta kind of learn that while you're doing these things, a Xenomorph can pop out and get you at any time. That leaves that level of uncertainty. I won't say it's as ridiculous as maybe Isolation, but it's damn near close. And let me tell you this right now, a little fun fact here. This is a panic room. Don't ever save if you didn't shut the door behind you, because when you think you're safe saving, yeah, as soon as you turn around after you do save, after you get your device, they might be waiting for you right there. So yeah, you can shut the door. A little fun fact I had to learn the hard way there too, but the Xenomorph is unrelenting. So knowing those things I just told you, being able to unweld doors or connect power control plants to activate power, give power to a door or something, as well as maybe activating something on a computer, you're not going to be able to do it in peace a lot of these times. A lot of these moments you do that, you got to be able to do them under pressure. And that's the key part in this game. That's probably the most fundamentally part that you have to learn this game. So while you're reading messages, or you're activating a door, or you're trying to reroute power, you got to be able to do that while also be alert for the Xenomorphs, because they keep coming nonstop. As there's no limit to how many times they come, they'll just keep coming after you. So it's not like it's just one Xenomorph like in Alien Isolation coming after you. It's going to be multiple ones. And that's the key part there, working under pressure. So the thing you have to realize is, while you're doing this with one hand, you always want to keep another hand on your sidearm, being able to pull it out at a moment's notice, because you never know when they're going to pop up. You'll hear a little sound cue to give you an alert that one's coming. And it doesn't mean that one's necessarily coming immediately on top of you, but one is in the vicinity, and you got to be alert for that. And this is what I'm talking about. Shut the panic door, just so your safe isn't interrupted by any stance of the imagination. You also have this whole map mechanic that you can pull out, and basically you can see what you are. But as I said before, hold the map out in one hand to see where you got to go, while always having another weapon on top of you. But as I said before, you're not going to get very many moments where you just do things undisturbed. So you always got to be careful. So if you're in this case, you're trying to unweld a door, be mindful. That Xenomorph isn't just going to let you do it. He's going to be on your butt 24/7. If you aren't careful, he's going to come right up to you and just completely eliminate you. And in terms of hits, it's not as ridiculous as Alien Isolation where you die instantly. You can take a couple hits, but when they keep coming at you in multiple waves, yeah, it seems like it doesn't take a lot. And that's the key part there, and that's the toughest part you have to learn in this game. So my number one advice to you, the number one thing you got to learn, it took me a little while to get good at it too, is learn the mechanics of the game. And what I mean by the mechanics of the game is learn how all weapons work, how to pull them out, how to use them, how to fire them, as well as reload them. So you are given a few weapons in this game. You are given your shotgun, you're given your magnum pistol, and you're given your pulse rifle. You have a few other things like a little time area effect bombs you got, but these are your 3 shooting weapons. And these weapons, you got to learn how to reload, pull them all out. As I said, your magnum pistol is on your bottom left hand, your shotgun and pulse rifle are on your shoulders, and you got to be able to pull them out at a moment's notice, because when you're trying to walk through this game and find out where you got to go, these guys can pop out in a moment's notice. And you'll have a lot of segments in this game where you got to carry something with one hand while having your gun at the other. But keep in mind, your pulse rifle, it's damn near impossible to fire with one hand, as well as your shotgun. Your magnum, you can get away with it too, because it doesn't have as much recoil. But let's get to the Xenomorphs itself. And once again, they're the stars of this Alien game, and they're really, really well done. And they keep coming at you from all angles and sides. So they'll come through the ceiling, they'll come from the floor, they'll come from the ventilation shafts, and they're unrelenting. And they can come in multiple ways. They can do a lunge at you. Their blood and acidic can also hurt you, so you gotta be careful after you kill them. When you're in a room that has a lot of spots they can come out and get you, you're definitely in a kind of a state of like which way are they going to come from, which direction, and you're constantly looking left and right trying to figure it out. You can pull out your motion detector that can give you a sense of direction where they're coming from, but honestly I want to save more about the motion detector for later in the video. But yeah, you're in these rooms, they can hop and leap all over the place, they'll be scaling the walls and ceilings, so you got to keep your eyes everywhere. I love the atmosphere in this game. It is dead on. It makes me feel like I am in an alien-infested area or alien-infested universe. The lighting is dead on. Just the whole smokiness, the light flickering, just the atmosphere. They did a really, really good job. You also have a little light switch you can turn on and give you a little light source as well in case it gets really, really dark. But yeah, I feel like this is definitely an area that keeps me on edge at all times. Because as I said, the Xenomorph, they don't stop coming. As this whole place has got plenty of Xenomorphs, and they kind of come in a few ways, usually like 1 or 2, maybe 3, and you might get another minute or two before they come back for the most part in a normal circumstance. But yeah, they can come out of nowhere, so you always got to keep your guns ready and at the helm, and also keep them reloaded. That's another thing. As soon as you know that you can you got a free space or some time, keep that thing loaded. And that's the toughest thing to learn this game, is being able to do all that stuff under pressure. Because when you have certain segments where they keep coming at you non-stop and there's multiple Xenomorphs, you got to keep that gun reloaded and you got to heal, reload, swap to other weapons simultaneously, but you got to do it under pressure. And that's the hardest thing, to do it under pressure, because if you can't, it's going to get harder and harder and harder as you progress through the game. But it gives me that sense of a Xenomorph infested area. It's kind of more, if AlienIsolation is more similar to, I guess, Alien, I think this game is more similar to Aliens. It gives me a lot of throwback to Aliens, the sequel movie. There's so many moments where I feel like I'm making a last stand, or iconic moments I have with Facehuggers, which I'll get to in a moment, including another scene that I'll talk about later on. But there's a lot of these moments that I feel like are just ripped straight from the movie, and they make me feel so iconic and smile, because I love the first 2 Alien movies. But yeah, these guys, they don't give you a break. They're unrelenting, and you feel like one of those Marines is fighting tooth and nail to your last magazine, as these guys just keep coming and they just never stop. And it gives you that whole claustrophobic, you're trapped in there with them and there's no way out, and basically you're just fighting, just struggling to stay alive. They do this really well. But let's talk about the gunplay. Is it satisfying to just shoot Xenomorphs? And absolutely. I personally like it when I got the shotgun up close and I'm able to just unload and kill them. I got a few killed in about 2 hits if I got them in the head. They were close enough, but I just like that ability. I feel like I am a Colonial Marine just fighting to my last breath in this thing. It's satisfying as hell, the reload. It's adrenaline rushing just to have all that intense moments of them constantly coming after you and you're just unloading all your rounds. I actually like the Magnum pistol a lot too. That thing is extremely reliable, and I like how it reloads as well. And the pulse rifle, as I said, it's a fun, iconic weapon in Alien Universe, but it's one of those things where you definitely gotta hold it with 2 hands because it will recoil all over the place if you don't. Similar with the shotgun as well. You can do it with 1 hand, but it's really, really damn difficult. And not something you want to do if you want to have the accuracy. But yeah, I just love that there's so many moments where I just feel like my back is against the wall. And these guys are just coming. And they don't give you a break either. They keep coming. So when you get those few seconds for you to reload, to heal, to get your weapons posed out, or maybe like plan your next course of action, you got to make them count. Because when you don't make them count, they're going to make you pay. And that's exactly how you want to feel in a xenomorph infested area. You have got to make every action as transition as smooth as possible, or you're going to look like an idiot when they keep coming after you. I love the Facehuggers as well, and as usual in the AlienIsolation, they were actually my biggest pain in the ass, just from the fact that sometimes I don't even see them coming. Here they got a cool mechanic. When it first happened to me, I didn't know what to do, but they'll latch onto your face, and what you got to do is you got to manually pull them off your face. And I held them for a little while, but I didn't know what to do at first. But yeah, you got to have your sidearm, your magnum pistol, pull it out and shoot them on the side to kill them. I, unfortunately, the first time I had this, had the thing unreloaded, so I was just kind of holding them and kind of screwing away. But it's a cool mechanic. You see that tentacle trying to come and get inside of you. It's not something you want to see up close, but on the VR, it's amplified a lot. But it's definitely an intense, impactful moment. In terms of the story, I definitely did like it. I was really interested to hear that in the early part of the game, they actually do name drop Amanda Ripley, so it's set somewhere in a similar time span. It's got a lot of references and stuff to other things, so it's cool to have those little callbacks. And another cool part is in this game is that I didn't realize this till I beat it, but there is going to be a part 2. Now, I don't know if it's just add-on to this or a completely different game. They still got to elaborate a little bit more on it. But after you beat this game, it ends on a cliffhanger. It does say the main character you play, Azula Hendricks, will return. So that's a cool thing. So I want to see more of these little interchangeable stories. And who knows, maybe we can actually have these characters meet up in a possible sequel to another Alien game that we were all happy to hear announced that got greenlit earlier this year. But overall, it was definitely a manageable, easy to follow, enjoyable alien-infested story, and I'm interested to see where they're going to go with Part 2, whenever that is to be released, but not enough information is known on it for me to speak on it, but I am happy to see that they're going to be moving forward with this. There's a few sequences in this game. I don't want to show them because I'd rather have you guys experience them yourself, but they are really intense. You know, one, you can guess, involves the Facehuggers. The other one involves using this device, and let's just say this is a hard scene to watch, especially in the movies, but having it in the VR2, and if you know, you already know, yeah, this whole sequence is definitely tough to watch, especially having that VR2 immersion, but it's definitely an iconic sequence to go through, but I'll let you guys find it for yourself. I won't spoil it for you. While I did overall love this game, there were a few things that were weird. I had a few glitches, mostly with the synthetic robots. They would either appear out of thin air, or they would constantly just slide over the place. I don't know what was going on. I guess they were getting their groove on. I mean, I remember the Working Joes had their moments, but these guys were just showing off. But I want to get back to the motion detector I mentioned earlier. I wish it had more, I guess, of a use in this game. Obviously, it was an important tool to use in AlienIsolation because it was a way to basically, get your objective out pulling. It was basically your map in a way where you can, go to whatever direction it was, as well as telling you if there was a xenomorph in the area. And it does the same thing here, but it's not your map. The map replaces completely because you can hold it out on your person without going in a menu. I just wish there was more of a use for it. Maybe have certain segments where you need to use that thing. Because I just found myself not really using it too often. So that's just one thing I wish they can improve on in the future. I will warn you right now, though, guys, as I am trying to do this on my own, the hardest difficulty insane, well, it is insane. It's really hard. So I will recommend if you are going to attempt that, please at least beat the game on the earlier difficulties so you at least know what you got to do, because that will definitely frustrate and piss you off. I'm trying to do it right now, and right now it's kind of got me in a lot of frustration. But granted, it is a survival horror game. What else do you expect? But overall, I absolutely love and enjoy this game. This is kind of, as I said earlier, a wet dream for me as a diehard Alien fan to be on a VR2, to be that immersed fighting Xenomorphs. In terms of a change I might possibly want to make in this game, I think the only things I could possibly think of that could maybe improve the experience is maybe make the alien a little bit more unpredictable. Because other than the fact that they just have so many of them after you and you can't take a lot of damage in the first place, I feel like once in a while you kind of can predict the patterns. Compared to that in AlienIsolation, you could never really predict, because that guy can move one way and move another way in a blink of an eye and you won't even know what just happened. But I guess it's understandable considering there are so many of them and you can't take too many shots too. But overall, as I said earlier, I think this game is more representative of the sequel Aliens, as terms of AlienIsolation, more a representation of Alien. And I think that's the best way I can say this. Granted, you're not in here with a whole squad of Colonial Marines, but still, it really nails a lot of those vibes you have. And I'm happy to have played this game. I highly recommend it if you are an Alien fan. If you do own a PSVR2, I recommend it to play it. Even if you're not an Alien fan, I highly recommend playing it. If you don't own a PSVR2, do I recommend going out and getting one to get this? Unfortunately, I can't say that yet. Similar to Resident Evil 4 Remake, when I played on a VR2, it's not the game's fault. It's just that thing is way too expensive, okay? Like, at the end of the day, they need to drop the price of that a couple $100s to make people really think about that. Because when you're already paying hundreds of dollars for a PS5 on top of another hundreds of dollars playing this thing, and then on top of getting the game, that's a lot of money just for one game. So they need to drop that price to have more people to play, and I think they can get a huge audience. Because, as I said, I never tried the PSVR2 or any virtual reality before this year, and I definitely see why people like it a lot, because it's a lot of fun to be able to get immersed and get up in the action. And the gunplay in this game is absolutely fun. I feel like I'm in the Aliens world, and that's the best thing I can say, as they just keep coming and they never stop and they never give me a break, and I feel like I'm on my last leg, my last clip magazine, fighting for dear life. But hopefully I made this clear to you. But at the end of the day, as I always like to say, that is my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. If you have played Alien Rogue Incursion, how do you feel about it? What are the things you liked and things you wish they could have done a little better? Are you excited for Part 2? Do you want them to make improvements on Part 2 from Part 1? And do you think the Alien franchise is officially back with successful things all across the board, from movies, the games? They're going to have a TV show next year, and they're going to have Part 2 with this. Let me know down in the comment section down below. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. Thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your holiday season. Hope you have a happy holidays, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.